Hey there, everybody. Tony Porter, Cards and Dice TV, 1971 replay, Mets at Chicago. This game is played July 22nd, 1971, so I'm almost 4 months into my replay. So after a week from now, we'll be at the August point, and that's August and September, and the season's over. So I'm about 60 games away from completion. In this game, we have Milt Pappas for the Cubs going against Tom Terrific. Now, Tom Terrific games are pretty quick because he had probably his best season in 1971, so there are not a lot of base runners, generally speaking. And on top of that, we roll the D20. And for Pappas, it came up 18, and that's his C column. You can see that here, 15 to 20. But when we rolled for Tom Seaver, I think it was a 3, and it was his A column, 1 to 6. So let's do this. Let's start rolling, and let's go over the lineups. Buddy Harrelson, Kenny Boswell, and Tommy Agee. First 3 batters for the Mets. Cleanup is Cleon Jones at Cranepool, and then Clendenin batting 6th. 7th is Aspromonte. Then you finish off with Duffy Dyer, and Tom Seaver. For the Cubs, leading off is Kessinger. Then it's Beckert, and 3rd spot is Williams. Cleanup is Pepitone, then Santo and Hickman. And the last 3, Davis, Cannizzaro, and Pappas. Let's do this. I'm going to read this is Fall Classic Baseball. You're going to read the D6s first, the dark blue one, and then, of course, the cream color one. The red, we'll save that, and I'll tell you what that's for. That's a 63, so on Bud Harrelson, it's a blank. So you go over to the pitcher. He's a C. It's an out. And now that red tells you he's batting lefty, so it's going to be a ground ball to first base. So basically, the red tells you what kind of an out it is. So 1 out, it's grounded to the first baseman, Pepitone, who's an outstanding fielder, by the way. 65, Kenny Boswell, that's a home run -4. He did hit 5 home runs. So it's going to be a -4. So you go to Pappas, he's 1 to 16, -4 is going to be 1 to 12. So we look at the red, and that's within the home run zone, 1 to 12. It's a 7. That's a deep drive to right center. And back goes both Brock Davis, and Jim Hickman, and they look up, and that's gone. So a home run for a solo shot for Kenny Boswell. I'm using the Baseball Sim Research score sheet. It's already pre-filled for me. And then I'll just put a number of the batter that he drives in himself. And 1-0 Mets. We go to the 3rd place batter, who's Tommy Agee. Pitch from Pappas, that's a 24. It's a hit by pitch 1 to 3. Modifier is a -1, so that means it's 1 to 2. And we roll a 2, so he gets plunked. And Agee does not like that at all. After a home run, you don't like the next batter to get plunked. Some guys play that. That's an automatic, something happens, an automatic warning or something. So Agee gets hit by pitch after the solo shot by Kenny Boswell. Milt Pappas is basically sending a message. And here's Cleon Jones. And we are going to just let him bat away. He's been not hitting well lately. He started off, he was raking, and then all of a sudden he got into a little bit of a slump. So I'm staying off the hit and run, just letting him kind of get back. 63, and that's going to be an out, kind of an out. It's a 13. And a 13, he's a righty batter. He's going to go to shortstop. That's going to be a 6-4 fielder's choice. So that is 2 outs. So Cleon Jones now trades places with Agee. And here's Eddie Cranepool, bats from the left side. That's a 53. That's going to be a range check. We're going to pull a card. Range check says shortstop, infield range check. It's a 9. So shortstop needs to be higher than a 9. Excuse me. Shortstop is Kessinger. And he's an 8, so that's an infield single. That's a ball that Kessinger gets 2 stops, but there's no throw, and Cranepool picks up an infield single. Good for him. He's also been raking lately. Started off low, batting poorly, but then all of a sudden got hot, and 1st and 2nd with 2 outs. And here is Don Clendenin. Pitch from Pappas. And that's a 51. That's going to be a KD. Oh, not with a C. The KD is only a 1. You see, look, a 51, 52, 53 are KD checks. And Pappas goes up to KD1 because he's in the C column. So the 2 is higher than the 1. So there's no KD strikeout there. All that means is there would be a strikeout. Instead, we're going to check and see. 51 says third base error, and it will be an error because there's that 2 there. And it's going to be an exotic error. So that's an error that is outside of the norm. So Ron Santo's error rating is a 5. So it will be an error. And I'm going to go to the exotic chart. It's one of the few times that we have to go beyond the tabletop to a chart. I keep a chart in a book. And we're going to go to the exotic chart to third baseman with a runner, with runners on first and second. Ball fumbled and kicked by the third baseman into foul territory. All F's and A's take 2 bases, including the batter. So the batter is an A, so he will get a 2-base advance. Kranepool is an A, and Jones is an A. So it's a ground ball hit to the third baseman, Santo, who kicks it into foul territory. That's going to allow Jones to score. Kranepool is going to go to third, and Clendenin is going to make it to second base on an error, a 2-base error, big 2-base error by Santo. So now the Mets are up 2-0. 2-0 here in the top of the first. And it's going to be Bob Aspromonte. And that's going to be a 52. The third time I rolled a 53, a 51, now 52. And that's an error check again. But since this number is so high, there's not going to be an error there. Again, it's hit to third baseman. But this time he feels it. And he will throw to first to retire the side. All right, so 2 runs come in on 2 hits, and the Mets are up 2-0. We go to the bottom of the first. So that was a long top of the first. Here's Tom Seaver against Don Kessinger. And that's a 14, which will be an out. And it's a ground ball second base. Because that 14 with the 4 tells you it's the second base. All right, let's find a place for this. All right, here's Glenn Beckert with a 23, and that's an out. The 20 is going to be a line out. He's a righty, a line out to third base. It would be to first base. 3 would be a line out righty, lines out to third base. A lefty lines out to first base on that 3. 2 down, so Beckert lines out to the third baseman, Aspromonte, and here comes Billy Williams. It's a 44, that's usually ripped for a single to right center field, cut off by the right fielder, Kranepool. So Billy Williams is on with a single. Next is Joe Pepitone, who's got good powers. You want to avoid a 66, and we did get the 6. That's a 63. That'll be a swing and a miss. Seaver strikes him out and retires the side. So no runs, 1 hit, and 1 left. We go to the top of the second inning. All right, so Mel Pappas is going to pitch to Duffy Dyer, and that's a 35. 35 is a little grounder up the middle and through for a base hit, so Dyer is on with a single. Pitchers next, Seaver. We're going to let Seaver bunt, and that's going to be a good bunt because it's 5 or less for the bunt. Both numbers are less than 5, so it will be a bunt to the pitcher. We'll go 1-4 sacrifice. Runner to second, I put an S there to say that he moved over on the sacrifice. And here's the top of the order. Top of the order for the Mets. Buddy Harrelson with a runner on second. Here's a pitch from Pappas. Oh, 66, and that's going to be a drive. And that's over the center fielder's head. He's playing in. Buddy Harrelson does not have much power, but he gets it over his head. That's going to one bounce off the base of the wall. Coming home to score is Dyer. And around second, digging for third, is Harrelson. And here's a relay, and he is safe with a triple. RBI triple for Buddy Harrelson. And we're going to give him that RBI. He drove in the 8th place batter. And the Mets are up 3-0. Kenny Boswell now, the infield is going to be playing in, trying to prevent that 4th run from coming in. That's going to be a 22, and that is a walk, base on balls. That's a split number, 1-9, and it's a 5. So it's a walk on the 1-9. So Boswell walks. Now you got runners on first and third. And now they're going to back up to look for the double play here. Tommy Agee, here's a pitch. And it's a 61. A 61 is an out. A 16 is going to be grounded as short. Let's see if we can pull off that double play. Otherwise, runners are going to score now. Is the shortstop a strong arm? No, Kessinger's actually a weak arm. So he's going to go as a second for 1. And that's all they're going to get. A run scores on the fielder's choice, unfortunately. 6-4. And Harrelson's going to come home. And he's going to pick up an RBI. He drives in number 1 there. So Tommy Agee with an RBI fielder's choice. And it's runner on first now. Mets are up 4-0. And here comes Cleon Jones. Cleon Jones hit into a fielder's choice in the first inning and scored a run. So Pappas is struggling, and I keep on rolling doubles for the Mets, and that's going to be a single. Let's see how far the runner will go. An F or an A runner, and Agee is F, I believe, so he will go to third base. So first and third on the single by Jones. And here's Steady Eddie Kranepool with 2 outs and 2 on. Mo Pappas is really struggling. He's gotten hammered here in the first 2 innings of this game. The Mets are up 4-0 with the runners on first and third. So here's a pitch to Eddie Kranepool. Is another double? No, but it's a 53. And a 53 with a 14 may be a base hit, a range check. That's a range check. 14 is too high for the KD. KD is this number here, which is a 1. So a 53 is a shortstop single, infield single. So that's not going to allow any runs to score because Kessinger is an 8. So that 14 is higher than his range rating. So that will be an infield single. Oh, there was a runner on third, so he will score. So a run does score. Going to second is Jones, RBI there. And the score now is 5-0 Mets. So that's the second hit for Kranepool in this game. And here's Don Clendenin, pitch from Pappas. A 65, and that's a pitcher home run. Remember, we got 1-16 on Pappas, and we rolled a 17. Oh, and that's caught at the warning track. So that's a deep drive off the bat of Clendenin. Back to the warning track goes Billy Williams and makes the catch with his back up against the wall. Wow, Mo Pappas just got lucky and basically avoided a 3-run shot that would have put him down 8-0. So Mets come up with 1, 2, 3 runs in that inning. On how many hits? 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. And Aspromonte will lead off the top of the third. Ron Santos up, and the Cubs haven't batted around yet, and the Mets are up 5-0 already. Here's a pitch from SEAVER. It's a 56. That'll be a strikeout. It should be looking at 8 column, and it is. Next is Jim Hickman. It's a 54. That's usually a check here on the 54 chart. We're going to check for an error on the center fielder. We roll at 12. Center fielder is Agee, and Agee's error rating is a 9. So there's no error. It's a drive to center, and Agee runs it down. And next up is Brock Davis. SEAVER checks in for the sign, winds and deals a 33, and that hit hard up the middle and past SEAVER and into center field. So he ropes it past SEAVER. SEAVER reached for it, couldn't get it, couldn't slow it down, and it's through into center field. And here's Chris Cannizzaro, second hit allowed by SEAVER, second single of the game. Here's Cannizzaro with a 61, and that'll be a strikeout to end the inning. SEAVER picked up 3 strikeouts so far. All right, here the top of the third. 5-0 Mets. And it's Bob Aspromonte with a 54. That's a 54 check. And it says go to Wilder on the next card. Wilder says go to Wildest on the next card. So Wildest says fly ball to left center field, caught by center fielder. Then there's a collision, but I don't play injuries, so I'm not going to worry about it. 1 down, fly ball center field. Almost a collision in center. Here's Duffy Dyer, pitch from Pappas. Duffy Dyer with a 33, and that is a base on balls, ball 4. Duffy shows patience and walks. Here's SEAVER, and SEAVER's going to swing away. with a 14, and he'll swing and miss, and that's goes down on strikes. 2 down in the top of the third. And here's the top of the order, Buddy Harrelson. He's 1 for 2 with a triple and a run scored and an RBI. And it's a 56. 56 will be an out, kind of an out, a 3. He'll be batting lefty, so that'll be bounced to first. Ground ball, first base. Pepitone takes it, and that retires the side. No runs and no hits. So finally, Pappas has gone through an inning without allowing a hit. Bottom of the third, Tom Terrific. Let's see what Tom Terrific could do here. He's facing off against the pitcher. Pappas with a 45, and that'll be a strikeout. So that's the fourth K for SEAVER in this game. Kessinger, the top of the order now. Pitch from SEAVER, 25, and that's an out. A 7 is a fly to left. If you notice, 7 is a fly to left and 8 is a fly to center. Everything is that way. So depending on the number here, it kind of dictates what position on the field. Very well designed. 16 is a ground ball. Oh no, actually a 20 is always a line out. It's going to be a line out to shortstop. L6. Sometimes this will tell you the out and that'll tell you the position. That's another thing he does, but it's done in a way that's very intuitive, so you pick it up very quickly. It's not one of those things you have to keep on looking up. At first you look up a little bit, but once you get the message, then okay. So that's no runs, no hits for SEAVER in the bottom of the third. We go to the top of the fourth. Kenny Boswell's leading off. Hit a home run in the first inning, and here he's going to stroke one, and that's going to fall in for a single. Ropes a single to right center, and then he's going to have a chance to steal a base. But we already used the, you know what? We already used the number for the splits, so let's roll for the stolen base, a 16, and he is... Ooh, let's see if he gets thrown out. Canizaro, yep, he's going to get thrown out. So it's going to be a 2. Next batter's a righty, a 2-4. So there goes Boswell, the throw down from Canizaro, and he is out at second base. Tommy Agee with a 66, and that is a deep drive to left field. Back goes the left fielder Williams to the track to the wall, looks up, and that's gone. Home run for Tommy Agee. All right, so it's 6-0, and that's going to be it for. That's going to be it for Mil Pappas. All right, Joe Decker's in the game. Mets are up now 6-0. Home run solo shot by Tommy Agee. Mets have 2 home runs in this game. One by Boswell in the first, another one by Agee in the top of the fourth. It's Joe Decker, and Decker can go 13 batters plus, depending on how he's doing. So let's roll here for Cleon Jones, and Cleon Jones with a 32. Now we rolled for Decker. He's an 8 pitcher, by the way, because we rolled a low number. I think it was within his 1-6 range. So he's in the 8 column, and that 32, which is blank there, becomes an out, and it's a fly to right. Under it is the Hickman in right field, and that's 2 down. And here's Eddie Kranepool, who's got 2 hits today. It's a 63. That becomes a strikeout. All right, so that ends the inning. Mets pick up 1 more run on 2 hits. We move to the bottom of the fourth. Tom Seaver's on the mound for the Mets today. Leads the league in shutouts with 7. That's a 56. Billy Williams, and that's going to be a strikeout. Strikeout number 5 for Tom Terrific. Next up is Joe Pepitone. He struck out earlier in the game. A 53 with an 8. KD goes up to 6, so the 8, we're going to have to check the range. That's a range check on the left fielder. Left fielder is Cleon Jones, and Cleon Jones' range is a 12, so he will run that down in the corner. Great catch. 2 down, and here is Ron Santos. Santos struck out, 46. That's going to be a ballpark. It says ballpark 46. We bring up the ballpark, the 8, foul ball. That's a souvenir for a lucky fan. If he's lucky, he'll get Tom Seaver to sign it. Ron Santos with a 65. That's usually a pitcher home run. And off Seaver, it's a 1-5, and he rolls the red is a 14, so that's bounced to second base, and that'll end the inning. So it was a wheelhouse pitch, but he got on top and bounced it to second. So here we go to top of the fifth. No runs, no hits. It was 3 up, 3 down for Terrific in that bottom of the fourth. We go to top of the fifth. Don Clendenning with a 45, and that will be a bounce at a second. The 4 tells you it's the second base. Aspromonte next. He's 0 for 2 today. And that's going to be a 54. We're going to look at the chart. It says go to Wilder chart. So we're going to go to Wilder. A foul pop down the line. Second baseman is fighting it. That's a 6. It could be an error in foul territory. So Glenn Beckard's error rating is a 3. So he will make the catch in foul ground. So it's a foul out to second base. All right, next is Duffy Dyer. And that is a 26, which against the lefty is a single, but he's a righty, so that's a 17. That's a 7. That's a fly out to left. And that retires the side. That ends the inning. No runs, no hits. And we move to the bottom of the fifth. Tom Terrific. Hickman with a 55, and that is going to be a 13. Is a drive down the line and kicks up some chalk into the corner. Playing it off the carom is Jones. Digging for second is Hickman, and he's in there easily. So a leadoff double for Jim Hickman. Against now it's Brock Davis. 5-0 Mets. It's a 61. That'll be a strikeout. Number 6 receiver here in 5 innings. Canizaro's up next. And that's a 63, and that'll be a swing and a miss, and he strikes out. Strikeout number 7, I believe. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it's the pitcher, Decker. Decker is a 7, batting card 7. Now we're down 6-0. Ooh, I do have a runner in scoring position. This is a tough situation. You know what? We're going to bring in a pinch hitter here. So Webster's up. Ramon Webster's a lefty hitter against Seaver in the bottom of the 5th inning with a runner at second base. See what happens. Pitch from Seaver, that's a 35, and a 35 will be an out. It's a 16, that's a grounded to short. Picked up by Harrelson over to first, and that retires the side. No runs. 1 hit, that leadoff double. We move to the top of the 6th. There'll be a new pitcher for the Cubs. All right. It's going to be a guy named Ray Newman. Played with the Cubs in '71. He's a lefty. We rolled for his stuff, and he's got his A stuff going today. He will face Seaver here in the top of the 6th inning. Score 6-0 Mets. And that's a 12, which is a strikeout. He strikes out Tom Terrific. And here comes the top of the order for the Mets. The Mets have a decent record at 52-41 so far in the season. That's 11 games over 500. The Cubs are 50-46. Here's a pitch to Buddy Harrelson, who against the lefties batting from the right side. It's a 63. That's back-to-back strikeouts. So check swing. They check with the third base umpire, and he held. Buddy went around, and Buddy doesn't like it. Kenny Boswell now. Kenny Boswell with a 23, and he lifts one center field. Racing in is center fielder Brock Davis. Will he get there? Yes. And that retires the side. So 3 up, 3 down for the lefty Ray Newman. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. 6-0 Mets. Top of the order. It's going to be Don Kessinger with a 65, and that's a -10 pitcher home run. So that'll be an out. Bouncer to second. It's a -10, and Seaver only goes up to 5, so it's a -5. So no home run there. I just take the out. That's how I play it. That's a 66, and that will be a drive. Gets a hold of a Seaver fastball, Glenn Beckard, and that's going to be 1 hop to the wall. Played nicely by the center fielder Agee, and Beckard's into second base ahead of the throw. So it's an easy double, stand-up double for Beckard. Run around second now, and here is the pitch from Seaver, Billy Williams, and it's a 54. We're going to check the 54 chart, and that's going to be catcher range ability. Catcher Canizaro is the letter N. So an N at home, which he is, gets a strikeout on this. So his framing ability comes into play, and Canizaro steals a. I'm sorry, that's Duffy Dyer. I'm backwards. Duffy Dyer, not Canizaro. Duffy Dyer is an N as well, and his framing ability steals a strikeout for SEAVER. So they strike out Billy Williams, and here's Joe Pepitone with a 42. 42 is a blank, and a 42 will be an out. It'll be a fly ball left field. Easy play for Jones, and that retires the side. So no runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We move to the top of the 7th inning. Tommy Agee leading off against Ray Newman. Here's the pitch. Agee with a 24, and that's a 1-3 hit by pitch, but that's an 18 regardless. It's a -4 modifier on the pitcher for hit by pitch. But that's an 18. It's way too high. Not even close. Here's a 1 out now as a fly to center. Here's Cleon Jones with a 51. That's going to be an error check, but that 14 is going to be too high to the third baseman. So that's picked up by Santo, and Santo throws out Jones. Santo's error rating is about 5, and I remember it from before. So Kranepool with a 42. 42 is a blank, and a 42 is a walk. Ball 4, and there goes Kranepool on to first base with 2 outs. Here comes Cleon Jones, who's 0 for 3 on the day. Oh, I'm sorry, Don Clendenin. Here comes Don Clendenin. He's 0 for 3 on the day. Pitch from Newman, the lefty, and that's going to be a 51. That's going to be an error check. But with that 19 is very high, so unless it's a shortstop. Kessinger's error rating is a 7, so that 19 is way above that. So it's a grounded to short, and that ends the inning. No runs, no hits, so walk, 1 left. We move to the bottom of the 7th. 7th inning stretch time. Ron Santo leading off against Tom Terrific. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 46 with a 17, and that's line. And Santo on his own is going to try for 2 against the left fielder. And let's see, is it high or is it low? He will. He's going to be safe, I believe. Yes, he is safe with a double. Leadoff double for Ron Santo. Stretch a single into a double on that ballpark card. With the 46 sends it to the ballpark. The 17 says it's a fielded by the left fielder. Use the rating, the assist rating on the fielder. And that was Cleon Jones is a 2. And I rolled a 4. That's higher than the assist rating. So he makes it into second base with a double. Here's Jim Hickman. Hickman with a 33, and that's going to be a 4. Is going to 1-16, and that's going to be banged up the middle, and that's through into center field. Will the run score here? Will the run score here? And left fielder. If the left fielder is a W arm, no. So he will hold up at third. They're not going to challenge Cleon Jones' arm on this one. They're down by 6. So here's Brock Davis with first and third now in the 7th. Here, we'll see what happens. Infield is back looking for a double play. It's a 42, and that's going to be an out. Kind of an out of 12. That's popped up, and that's in fair territory. Catcher Duffy Dyer waiting for it, and he squeezes it for out number 1. Here's Chris Canizaro. Pitch from Terrific. That's a 1-3 hit by pitch. SEAVER has a -1, so it becomes a 1-2, and we roll a 15. On the 1st and 3rd of 15, he is a righty. That's going to go to shortstop. 1st and 3rd is going to be a fielder's choice unless the second baseman is a strong arm or average arm. And the second baseman, Boswell, is going to try for the double play, and in time, and they get a 6-4-3 double play to get out of the inning. Holy smokes, the Mets turn that double play. The Cubs leave 1, and we go to the top of the 8th inning. Now, SEAVER's going for his 8th shutout of the season. Pretty amazing. His ERA is, I think it's like 150. His ERA in reality, I believe, was 171. Duffy Dyer is leading off against Ray Newman. No, actually, it's Bob Aspromonte, excuse me, and that's a 43. 43 will be an out, will be a fly to right. Right there is Hickman. Jim Hickman makes the catch. Duffy Dyer's next. And this is 63, and that'll be a strikeout. And here's Tom Terrific with a 65, and that's a ballpark home run. -5, it becomes a 7. 1 to 12, -5 becomes a 7, and that's a 4. That's a deep drive off the bat of SEAVER. Will it go? It's gone. Tom Terrific homers here and makes it 7-0 Mets. What a day Tom Terrific is having. Pitching a shutout and hitting a home run. All right, here's Buddy Harrelson with a 65, and that'll be an out. That'll be popped up. In fair ground, third baseman Santo makes the catch. 1 run on 1 hit in the top of the 8th. A home run by SEAVER. And we move to the bottom of the 8th. It's going to be the pitcher, and we will let, let's see how many he's gone. He's gone. Oh, Decker's gone. Okay. 3, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So Decker is going to be replaced because he's gone his max. And I'm sorry, Newman. Newman will be replaced because he's got his max. And we're going to get a pinch hitter. Be right back. All right, we're in the bottom of the 8th inning. It's 7-0 Mets. Cleo James leading off. And here's a pitch from Terrific. And that's a 16, which will be an out, kind of an out. An 18 is a fly out. Center field on the run is Agee. Agee tracks it down. Here's the top of the order, Kessinger now. Don Kessinger, it's a 63, and that will be a swing and a miss, a strikeout. That's strikeout number 9 for Terrific. And it's Glenn Beckert here in the bottom of the 8th with 2 outs. Mets are up 7-0. Pitch from SEAVER, that's a 36. 36 is an out. It's a bouncer to second base. Easy play for Boswell. And that retires the side. So 8 shutout innings for Tom Terrific. 1 inning away from his 8th shutout of the season. Pretty amazing. His ERA is still close. His whip is almost identical to what it was. He's at 0.8, and his whip that year was 0.9. Boswell is up here against a guy named Bonham, Bill Bonham. And Bill Bonham's stuff is C. His stuff is C. All right, here's Kenny Boswell with a 13, and that's a fly to center, 1 away. Tommy Agee with a 43. A 43 on a C is a base on ball, so Agee walks. Cleon Jones. Cleon Jones with a 61. A 61 is a strikeout. 2 down in the top of the 9th. Eddie Kranepool now. Here's a pitch, and that is a 43, and a 43 will be another walk. So 2 walks in this inning by Bonham. Puts runners on first and second with 2 outs for Don Clendenin, who has good power. Oh, that's a 65, and he gets a hold of one, drives it deep to left field, and that ball is gone. A 3-run shot for Don Clendenin. Wow, he really got a hold of that one. Drove it out of the park here for a 3-run shot. The Mets, that puts the Mets up 10-0. And he drives in number 3, number 5, and himself number 6. That's the batters. All right, so here comes Bob Aspromonte with a 42, and that'll be a walk. So Bonham is having his control issues. I'm rolling a lot of 40s here, so that's not good. Next is Duffy Dyer with a 56, and that'll end the inning with a strikeout, finally. But Bonham gives up 3 more runs, a 3-run shot by Don Clendenin. So 3 runs on 1 hit and really 4 walks. We move to the bottom of the 9th. Can Tom Terrific pick up his 8th shutout of the season? Pretty amazing. Billy Williams. And that's going to be an 11, which will be a base on balls. There's a steal there, but I'm playing it safe, down by 10. Joe Pepitone is up next. Pepitone with a 32, and that'll be an out, kind of an out of 1. That's right back to SEAVER. Goes to second for 1. The throw to first, not in time, so it's a field's choice on Pepitone. Ronnie Santo's next. Pitch to Santo, and that is a 42, and that'll be an out, kind of an out of 17. That's lifted to left field. So SEAVER 1 out away from his 8th shutout of the season. He leads the league in shutouts. He's going to face Jim Hickman here. Hickman has 2 hits today. He has a double and a single off SEAVER, so he's been getting to SEAVER stuff. Here's the pitch from Terrific, and that's a 35, and that'll be an out. What kind of an out? That's an 8. And it's a fly ball, lifted to center. Agee a few steps back, settles under it, makes the catch, and the ball game is over. SEAVER dominant. No runs, no hits, 1 left, the walk. And that's the ball game, folks. Holy smokes. Terrific was definitely terrific. Now, the Mets win this game in actuality 5-1. In our replay, they won it 10-0. How many hits did SEAVER give up? He gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In reality, he gave up 6 hits. Here he gives up 6 hits. 1 error committed by the Cubs. No errors by the Mets. And how many hits? The Mets in reality had 11 hits. In this game, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 hits. So they had 1 less hit than they did in reality. Final score is Mets 10. SEAVER with the win. I believe that will be SEAVER's 15th win of the season, I believe. He did have a 20-game season in 71. So the final score is 10-0 Mets. Mets 10 runs, 10 hits, no errors. The Cubs with no runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. And that's all, folks. What can I say? Fall Classic Baseball. Hope you enjoyed it.